This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Tuesday, the 5th of May, or Cinco de Mayo of 2026. And we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. And we are hanging out here on the multiverse known as Safety FM. And hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there. Maybe over there?
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes. There you go. We're hanging out a little bit of everywhere as we are going through the whole rig. Yeah, the whole rig of things going on. So how has the last 24 hours or so been for you? I'm always wondering, what exactly is going on? I'm just asking the question. How are things going on? How's the last 24? Because I always want to know. I'm kind of curious because, man, how much life can change in the last 24 hours. It's kind of mesmerizing at time when you start taking a look at it. So let me tell you real quick exactly what we do around here. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's exactly what it is. We talk a little bit about everything that is going on inside of, the world. The things that we're allegedly supposed to be focusing on. And then we kind of go down the dark path of everything else that is happening inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's just kind of the way that it goes. So if you're good with this, the way that this will work today is we will have our friends from Featured or Story News show up, give us some information on what's going on with the news stories. I'll also have Alan Edwards show up, give us some information as well. And then if you want to interact with the show, it's easy to do so. All you do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the opciones of things that we get to talk about. And then we run. Yeah, run. Let's run. It's kind of how it goes. And if you're good with that, that's the world. That's the world that we go into. So outside of that, that's it. That's what we do. Oh, yeah, and I give you a level of main story somewhere towards the middle. I've been trying to hit the 32-minute mark for years, and it always seems like I get close or I go over. Yesterday was a botchery. But anyways, with that being said, let's do this. Let me bring in my friends from Feature Story News. Let them tell you what's happening, and we will go from there here on this show.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. The Speaker of Iran's parliament has warned that the country is just getting started, following Monday's strikes in the Strait of Hormuz. It comes after the US launched Project Freedom, which aims to provide military escorts for vessels through the strategic waterway. The French president has called for a joint Iranian-US reopening of the strait. Emmanuel Macron said that France would not be participating in the maritime escort plan announced by President Trump. Ross Cullen reports.
The French president criticised the proposed escort plan as not clear, ruling out any French involvement in what Donald Trump has called a humanitarian gesture to guide civilian ships through the Strait of Hormuz. The UK's Maritime Trade Operations Centre said on Monday that due to ongoing regional military operations, ships attempting to transit the contested waterway face critical threats. The choke point has resulted in energy supply issues that are still hitting economies across the world. Ross Cullen, Paris.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is hosting leaders from policing, business and education in Downing Street in an effort to counter anti-Semitism. Keir Starmer says recent attacks have now turned the issue into a crisis. Last week, 2 Jewish men were stabbed in North London. Community Secretary Steve Reed says the whole of society has to stand with Jewish communities.
We're announcing £1 million additional funding through our Common Ground programme. That is money that will go into charities and community organisations in Jewish communities so that they can do more to keep their communities safe. This cannot be something government alone deals with. We've seen an increase, an upsurge in anti-Semitic attacks and hatred against the Jewish community. We need everybody in this society to call it out for what it is.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP alliance won 3 out of 5 regional elections as the party seeks to establish itself as a pan-India force. But the party's victory in the state of West Bengal is being seen as a milestone in an election marred by allegations of political violence and vote rigging. Ishan Garg tells us more.
With this election, Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated his party workers on Monday evening, saying that this is vote for a change and the people of West Bengal are going to get more development, more investments flowing in, and the state is going to see a more liberalized economy. But despite the party claiming victory, we are already hearing allegations of vote rigging by the party that has lost West Bengal, the All India Trinamool Congress, and their concerns are being echoed at the federal level.
And the EU's top trade official is meeting his US counterpart in Paris today on the sidelines of the G7 gathering. The meeting comes after President Trump announced he was raising tariffs on European autos due to tensions over the implementation of a trade deal. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the mystery surrounding Banksy's latest artwork, a statue on a plinth no less, depicting a man in a suit hoisting a large flag of indeterminate design. The flag's cloth covers the man's face, blinding him, it seems, to the fact that he is about to walk off the plinth. It's a remarkable piece of work, but how could it possibly have been put in place without anyone noticing? Estelle Lovett is an art critic, writer and broadcaster in London.
Westminster City Council say that they didn't grant permission for this sculpture. There was no planning for it, but no CCTV cameras caught this, especially whilst our level of security in this country has gone up to severe now. You know, it all seems rather strange, but this statue is in the company of a statue of Edward VII, and Florence Nightingale, and the Guards of the Crimean War Memorial. So what Banksy's done is actually really clever and witty, because it's not only a comment about us and how perhaps tough governance and fierce fighting isn't good, and extremes of any type, radicalism or zealotry or fanaticism isn't good. It diminishes the power and the authority of the other sculptures around it as well.
And the statue will remain in place, according to Westminster City Council. It calls Banksy's latest work a striking addition to the city's vibrant public art sector.
The main news again. The Speaker of Iran's parliament has warned that the country is just getting started, following Monday's strikes in the Strait of Hormuz. It comes after the US launched Project Freedom, which aims to provide military escorts for vessels through the strategic waterway. UK Prime Minister's hosting leaders from various sectors in an effort to counter anti-Semitism. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP alliance won 3 out of 5 regional elections. And that's the latest feature story news. William Denslow reporting.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
You've seen the loop. You've felt the shift. The script doesn't fit anymore, and neither do you. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct is the third and final signal in the trilogy from J. Allen, PhD. And this time, it's not about waking up. It's about what you do once you're awake. The system didn't break. It just stopped pretending to hold you. And now it's blinking, rebranding presence, packaging resistance, and calling it progress. This book isn't a guide. It's a transmission. It doesn't teach the system how to evolve. It shows you how to stop performing for it. You'll see what happens when awareness becomes responsibility, when audits don't listen, and when leadership becomes a loop. But if you've made it this far, you're not here to be managed. You're here to carry signal. Safety Transmission, The Collapse of the Construct. Now available in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by J. Allen, Ph.D. Because if it couldn't hold your signal, it was never real to begin with.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good on Radio Big.
Oh, it's still all good on Radio Big, no doubt about that, as we are hanging out doing all the fun stuff that we get to do on this level. Okay, so let's start talking right away about some things that are going on inside of the multiverse, because that is just kind of what we do around here, and that is for sure. So let's start talking. I don't know where where to start, because there's just so many odd stories. So should we just start off with weird right away? Maybe we should do that. Let's start off with weird. For the first time in more than a decade, Kellogg's is putting toys back into cereal boxes, rolling out a special edition boxes of Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, and Corn Pops, packed with a plastic freebie celebrating Disney's Pixar Toy Story 5 that's hitting theaters on June the 19th. Inside the boxes, fans can find collectible spoons shaped like Woody, Buzz, Jessie, trading cards, and movie theater tickets. Cereal boxes with toys were once breakfast staple, but they faded away as companies cut costs. Parent raised concerns about choking hazards. And Kellogg says that the new movie, which explores the role of toys in tech-driven world, had made the perfect moment to bring back the tradition. The company is leaning hard into nostalgia, saying that the goal is to revive screen-free moments. Discovery for millennials to remember their childhood. To celebrate, Kellogg's is even setting up the giant interactive Toy Story claw machine at the Grove in Los Angeles on May the 24th. Online fans are thrilled, and many adults have openly admitted that they don't care how old they are. They want their cereal toys back. I'm kind of amazed that they're not putting Forky in there. I'm not joking as I say that. Forky seemed to be a staple of all that shit, of some of the things that it had to do with Toy Story. So you would think that would go in there. It would be kind of like the perfect fit when it's all said and done, if you think about it. Okay, what else do we got going on? Let's talk about this, because, man, if we are... we're just all over the place. So study finds that people who smell good are seen as more attractive. A new wave of research suggests that your scent may be doing more heavy lifting than your entire personality. Scientists found that people that consistently rate someone more attractive, more confident, and even more likable when they smell pleasant, regardless of what they actually look like or say. Researchers say that fragrance triggers emotional, memorial, and memory-based responses in the brain, which means a good scent can create an instant positive impression before they even open their mouth. Participants in the study admitted they judge people with a pleasant smell as put together more trustworthy and more date-worthy, even when they're shown identical photos. So there you go. So I guess let's just kind of stay down this pattern. A large Michigan State University study has found that personality traits strongly influence how often people experience sexual fantasies and what determines that they imagine. Highlights that see through our normal part of human psychology. Researchers analyzed the data of 5,255 adults, most in long-term relationships, using detailed questionnaires about both personalities based on five traits and the frequency of 40 different fantasy scenarios. These scenarios were grouped into adventurous or exploratory and unconventional, romantic, emotional, and closeness, impersonal, detached, and observational, and power related, dominance and submission. Key findings: number one, people high in negative emotional fantasies of more often. Let's see, this includes individuals who experience anxiety, emotional volatility, and depression. The reports are more fantasies across all four categories. Researchers believe that these fantasies may act like a coping mechanism, helping regulate mood or escape negative feelings. Depression, not anxiety, was number 2, the strongest predictor. When researchers looked at the smaller subtraits, depression stood out as the clearest driver of more frequent fantasizing, suggesting that people who use imagination to counter low mood. Consciousness and agreeable people fantasize less. That's number 3. And those who are highly responsive, organized, respectful, and rule-oriented reported fewer fantasies overall. Researchers say that they may reflect stronger adherence to social norms or discomfort with thoughts that are perceived as unconventional. Number 4 was creativity, and imagined hard had a hard little impact there. Surprisingly, being imaginative did not predict having more fantasies or contradicting common assumptions. And number 5, not last but definitely not least, fantasies are extremely common and not a sign of dysfunction. The study emphasized that people of all ages, genders, and relationship types experience them, and they can play a healthy role in emotional well-being and relationships. So there you go. There you go. What do you think? Definitely one of those interesting times as we are talking. No doubt about that. Take a listen to this. Are you familiar with Shark Tank? You know, it's the show where people go and pitch products, and then you have like kind of 5 celeb style business people that will take a look at what the hell they're trying to pitch and then decide if they're going to invest in them or not. So take a listen to this. Shark Tank star Lori Greiner is warning Gmail users about a default setting that allows Google AI tools to scan the content of your emails. In a video posted on Instagram, Lori claimed that Google AI can read every single one of your messages, including financial documents, tax info, and personal conversations, unless you manually turn off the feature. Lori walked viewers through how to disable the Gmail smart features, which power things like smart replies, email summaries, AI-assisted search. She told users to go into their Gmail settings, find the smart features and personalized section, and toggle off both smart features in Gmail and smart features in Google products. Google responded by pointing it to a public statement saying that AI models, including Gemini, do not train on private emails and only access inbox content when users specifically ask Gemini to perform a task, such summarization a long message. The company says that the access is temporary, not stored, and it ends immediately after the task is completed. Google maintains that the inbox data stays private even when AI-powered features are enabled, and that users remain in full control of what the system can access. Lori Greiner, whose net worth is estimated between $150 and $250 million, urged her followers not to ignore the warning, saying that a setting can be disabled within about 30 seconds.
Duh.
So what do you think here? So here's where it's going to boil down to, at least in this person's opinion, is give me convenience or give me death. Well, if I turn it off, then I can't reply so much quicker when it comes to certain things. So why would I want to do that, you know? Just saying. Okay, so here you go. I got one for you this morning. Want you to think about this. Callinradio.com if you want to buck in with the answer here. So here you go. I am born. Oh, this is a riddle just in case. I am born when something ends. I grow when you pretend. I vanish when you tell the truth. Yet I am not a lie. What am I? Okay. Callinradio.com. Pair of tickets to our July the 13th event, where will be Todd Conklin, Nick Weatherly, and myself here at the movie theater. So there you go. If you want to go ahead and do that, callinradio.com. I will give you a pair of tickets to our event on July the 13th. Yeah. So there you go. Callinradio.com, text messaging, video, or audio message, and we'll figure it out. I'll take the first one that actually does it. So there you go. There you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things real quick. If you do not mind, take a listen to this. A brief lockdown at the White House was triggered after Secret Service officers shot an armed individual at the Washington Monument. No one inside of the White House was harmed. The shooting near the 15th Street Independent Avenue yesterday laid for the Secret Service to move reporters from the North Lawn into the press briefing as a precaution. According to multiple reports, Secret Service personnel confronted an armed individual who fled and fired at officers, prompting them to return fire. The suspect was stuck through their conditions was not immediately known. And I said struck, and I think I said stuck. Authorities also reported that a child was hit during the exchange of the gunfire. Though the injury was not life-threatening, the area around the Washington Monument saw heavy police presence, and the roads were closed for several hours while the scene was secured. Inside the White House, President Trump continued his scheduled small business summit without addressing an incident, and officials later confirmed that there was no longer a threat. Take a listen.
My understanding is they observed a print, we would call it, visual print of a firearm. These are trained surveillance detection personnel out there looking every day to look for just that. I can tell you that at least one, we believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual, it's a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening injuries.
Okay, so there you go. That's what was going on. What interesting stuff. So there you go. Take a listen to this. Tiger Woods is not expected to play in the U.S. Open with USGA CEO Mike Wand saying that he'd be super surprised to see him compete as he focuses on recovery after his March DUI arrest. Woods has been in a 90-day rehab program in Zurich following the crash, where police found pills in his pockets and charged him with a DUI, property damage, and refusing a lawful test. Sources says that he's responding well to the treatment and staying in touch with a small circle, which includes his girlfriend, Vanessa Trump, who publicly supported him after the incident. This marks Woods' fourth major driving-related incident following crashes in 2009, 2017, and 2021. He hasn't made the U.S. Open cut since 2019, so just FYI there. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse. Iran warned that it will attack U.S. forces if they try to carry out President Trump's Project Freedom, which aims to guide trapped commercial ships out of the Persian Gulf through the strait. Iran's military says that no vessel can pass safely without its permission and cautions U.S. allies not to support the operation. The warning came as the U.S. confirmed that the mission is beginning, involving destroyers, aircrafts, drones, and 15,000 Marines to restore freedom of the navigation while maintaining the naval blockade. Two ships were attacked near the strait on Sunday, and shipping grounds say the evacuation may be impossible without Iran's cooperation. Roughly 20,000 sailors and 2,000 ships remain stranded due to Iran's effective closure of the strait, according to the UN Maritime Agency. So there you go. There you go. Let's get into some other stuff going on real quick as well. The Supreme Court temporarily restored full access to abortion pill, blocking the lower court ruling that it would impose new restrictions. Justice Samuel Alito issued a one-week administrative stay while the court reviews the emergency appeal from the drug manufacturer. For now, the pill can be used to obtain by mail or pharmacies without in-person doctor visit. The rules that had been in place for years. The case stems from efforts by Louisiana to restrict the drug. Even the medication of abortions now make up the majority of abortions in the U.S. since Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022. So there you go. Let me give you a few more here before we get into our main story. Okay, the 2026 Met Gala is the first major scale last night when the anti-Bezos protesters broke through the security and rushed the red carpet. Duh. Getting within about 20 feet from Tom Ford and Julianne Moore. According to eyewitnesses, the protesters believed to be part of the groups criticizing Amazon's labor practices, pushed through the fans and pressed behind the steel barrier across the Fifth Avenue. He then jumped one barricade and ran through the traffic and vaulted a second barrier in an attempt to reach the entrance to the gala. Nearly a dozen police officers tackled him and made an arrest. During the chaos, Designer Tom Ford indignantly wrapped his arms around Julianne Moore, shielding her from a security swarm. Both remained unharmed. Other celebrities, including heated rivalry star Connor Story, were also on the carpet at the time. Jeff Bezos' wife, Lauren Sanchez Bezos, had already walked earlier, was inside of the event. Bezos himself had not appeared on the red carpet yet. Security at this year's gala was already heightened due to the ongoing protests targeting Amazon, which, along with Bezos, serves as a sponsor of the honorary chair event. So there you go. There you go. What do you think? What an interesting time. So there you go. So let me see. I want to talk about this one. And the only reason I'm talking about this
is because this shit took forever.
You remember that we have been talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni for quite some time, because they were kind of going after each other when it came to lawsuits. So I feel like it's been like 18 months. I'm not going to lie here. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just going to guesstimate here. But Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have settled their long-running legal battle, ending the case just 2 weeks before the trial. Terms weren't disclosed, but both sides issued a joint statement saying that they will remain committed to supporting the survivors of domestic violence. Lively had accused Baldoni of sexual harassment and running a smear campaign, while Baldoni denied the allegations. Most of Lively's claims were dismissed in April, leaving only retaliation-related counts heading to a trial before the settlement. The feud had sparked a major fallout. Baldoni lost his agency and an award. Public opinion swung back and forth, and even celebrities like Taylor Swift were pulled into the drama, though through court documents, I said dork documents, the settlement closed his high-profile dispute and had hovered over its ends with us since late 2024. So, let's talk about it, because, we should talk about it. Why was there a settlement? I'm just trying to figure this out, because, if you're trying to stand by your guns about what the hell was going on, I don't know if you would settle. And is there going to be a sequel? Because isn't there like 3 parts to this book? I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. I want us to have a better understanding.
Duh.
So there you go. Anyways, it's supposed to be main story time, so let's do that.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Let's talk about it, because we talk about some weird shit here. I mean, we just really do. I mean, there's some stuff that we talk about on the show that sometimes I go, it is so far in the left field that I just don't know if it's the right thing to talk about. And then I kind of sit here for a moment as we start and I go, okay, if we talk about this, are people going to lose it? If we talk about this, are people going to be upset? Or if we don't talk about this, what the hell is going to happen? And listen, we talk about theories, we talk about books, we talk about simulation, we talk about safety, we talk about a little bit about everything when we get to the middle section. But I want you to always understand that when we do get to this middle section, it's not that we're getting to the middle section because we're in the middle section. We're in the middle section because this is supposed to be the main portion of the whole show. And yeah, I know that we kind of prep some new stuff because I think that's important. People always kind of ask me, why isn't it just only about safety? Well, I think you need to talk about some other stuff. That's kind of the portion. But let's talk about this, because if there's this weird thing that happens inside of workplaces, and this is not only going to be limited to safety today, but this is going to be limited to kind of a whole plethora of things. I am sure that at this point in your life, you have heard the terminology guilty by association. You know what I'm talking about? This means that people will either like you or dislike you or love you or hate you related to the people that you're associated to. Think about it for a moment. However you want to look at it. I mean, you can look at it from different things. People can love you because you're a Republican. People can love you because you're a Democrat. People can love you because you're an independent. People can love you because you like this sports team. People can love you because you don't like this sports team. There's so many different fluidities when it comes to this terminology. Guilty by association. Good, bad, or indifferent. Think about this for just a moment. Think about this on how this happens. And there's more and more sequences that occur with this. I want you to think about people in high school, because I would imagine at this point, you've already been through high school, especially if you're listening to this show. But do you remember that there were certain kids that sat at a particular table and they were the popular kids at school because they sat at that table? And they were only popular because they were together, so they were popular because they were associated to others. And you're probably sitting here going, what the fuck are you talking about this morning? And I get it. I understand that. Here's what I want you to think about. And I want you to give it like some really deep thought today. Think about a core crew that's at your work site. Think about the people that are in your C-suite. Think about potentially upper management, not C-suite level, just kind of upper, not all the way there yet. Think about the people that you run to at work. Now, in someone's mind, and in this conversation, we're talking to you, so it's definitely your mind, you have put these groups of people together, and you have a general thought about this group, good, bad, or indifferent. And I bring this up because regardless of normally what happens, you will have a thought process that applies with them. So if you have a crew inside of your workplace that you dislike on how they do certain things when it comes to work, regardless of who that part of that crew is, if it's one member or all of them, you will always have that same question lingering of, was it done the right way? Was it done the wrong way? Was it done blah, 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 blah? And specifically if you dislike them because they're part of that quote unquote crew, guilty by association. The other side of the coin too, it goes like this. If you have a crew that does really good job, and you know member 1 through whatever, you will always have the assumption that that crew will do it better than anyone else because they are part of the crew that you like. Guilty by association. Could be a good thing, doesn't always have to be bad. So here's where it gets weird. Why is it that when we hear certain terminology, we normally have these problems where we will totally dislike something without giving it thought? There are people right now that if I mention the channel MS Now, they have been turned off by me referencing this. There are people that are listening right now that if I mention the channel Fox, people will get turned off by that. Same thing with CNN, same thing with Paramount Plus, same thing with you name it. This is how it goes on, because there is an association that you are guilty because you're with this group. But what if today we took the opportunity to actually listen to the other side, the group that we consider the bad guys, the bad gals, the bad people, because they're guilty by association? Because here's what ends up taking place. It's not that they're doing the wrong thing, because here's what happens most of the times. People feel like they're doing the right thing until they come to the recognition that what they were doing is wrong. It's like feeling like you're doing something right until you realize it was something wrong, but you thought you were right the whole time. This is why it's always important to listen to both sides, to listen to however many sides there are. The reason behind this is you cannot just put a blanket statement, a blanket thought out there that someone is guilty by association without even giving them an iota of time for them to focus on what exactly they have going on. Sometimes we just want to throw these things into buckets opposed to trying to take a listen to what people have to say. This is where we normally kind of fail in what we do. So imagine the next time that you've already put a confirmation bias on something. If we took it and said, let me give this a little bit more time before I decide that this is exactly how it is. Imagine how different our workplace could be. And man, imagine this even more. Imagine how different our world could be.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, this doesn't feel right. This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. It's all about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Our station is so big that you don't have to do much to make it work for you. Radio Big.
Here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. This right here, Sunset Reverie. This is the X-Mill version. We would like to thank X-Mill for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Always a good time when you and I get to hang out and talk a little bit about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Yeah, I would say go ahead and give this one a little streamer-eamer action. That way you can take a little listen. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the move and the groove of the things that are going on. And let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. So to find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Okay, so let me kind of go back to this real quick before I forget, because if not, we're going to forget about this. Earlier in the show, I was talking about this. So I want to go back and reference it now. I did give you a riddle. Go to callinradio.com to answer it. So here you go. Here's today's riddle. I am born when something ends. I grow when you pretend. I vanish when you tell the truth, yet I am not a lie. What am I? And the answer is suspicion. And I would like to thank Rachel from Laredo, Texas. There you go. 2 tickets for you in regards to what the hell's going on. So there you go. Let's put your contact information inside of there and we'll go. That was the answer, suspicion. So there you go. Get a little suspicion when it's all said and done. So here we go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse. And as we're giving away tickets to this, let's talk about it. Yep, here it is. Here it is. This is the event that we have coming up with Nick Weatherly talking about BBS, Todd Conklin talking about human and organizational performance, and I will be there talking about Signal. Yep, I will be talking about Signal as I am going through that whole thing. So there you go. So what do you want to know about what we're doing? There's a lot of things that are going. And let's just be realistic. Let's deal with the reality of the board here, because flights are stupidly expensive right now and fuel is up, corporate budgets are locked down, so the cost of everything is just kind of ridiculous. So because the world is so expensive, you are going to put travel on to the company card. I mean, what's the point of doing all that? You have the opportunity coming down here into Orlando on July the 13th. Come and hang out with us. And I'm going to tell you, we have decided to go super low price point on this thing because I want you to be able to come and hang out. Like I said, we're going to be doing this at a movie theater. And so we're not doing the mediocre catering or anything along those lines. We are straight up doing this event at a movie theater, hanging out, watching a documentary, and this movie theater has a full-blown restaurant. So this way you get to pick what you want to eat because, man, what a cluster when you do it, right? So anyways, with that being said, the event is happening July the 13th. Orlando, Florida. QR code right there. Just give it a little scan or enter there. Or if not, go to safetyfm.io to find out more information. Safetyfm.io to find out more information. That's it. That is the whole kit and caboodle. So, there you go. Can't wait to see what you think when you get there. July the 13th is not that far away. Anyways, I do have some John Small waiting into the wing. He wants to talk about the Motivation Minute. So I think we should go ahead and let him do that right now. Here's John Small.
The Motivation Minute. Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Sandy. Bill Gates said, "Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose." I agree, at least on this, with Mr. Gates. The best lessons I've ever learned in life were not at the top of the mountain. The views were always better from up there, but the lessons were learned in the valleys, when things seemed to be going wrong. That is when you start looking at things from a different perspective. That's when you dig in to find a solution. I mean, why the heck would you look for solutions when things are going well? This is one of the reasons that I like to work with people who have experienced failure in their lifetime. Somebody who's lost a game or missed an opportunity. They know what that feels like, so they don't get too worked up if it happens again. They're ready to handle it. They're actually prepared for it, and they expect some bumps in the road. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Ukrainian police raided dozens of draft officials across 16 regions on Monday over suspected corruption in military enlistment.
Authorities conducted searches targeting current and former officials accused of graft-related offences. The operation aims to root out bribery and abuse in the conscription process. It comes as Ukraine faces ongoing manpower shortages in its conflict with Russia. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Nebraska became the first state to roll out Medicaid work requirements for recipients.
The policy mandates able-bodied adults seek jobs or training to keep benefits. Officials aim to promote self-reliance and cut long-term costs. It sets a model as other states watch for federal approval and results. Liam White reporting.
Suspected gunman Cole Allen appeared in court Monday after a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, removed from suicide watch.
The U.S. attorney claimed Allen's shot struck a Secret Service agent's vest during the event. A judge compared his jail treatment to that of January 6th rioters. He faces charges as investigations continue into the attack's motive. Lawrence Keller reporting.
South Korea is verifying reports that one of its flagged vessels was struck in the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, heightening regional alerts.
Intelligence indicated the ship came under attack amid broader naval clashes nearby. Officials are investigating damage and crew status without confirming details yet. The incident follows U.S. reports of destroying threatening Iranian boats in the same waters. Gary Beck reporting.
At least 13 people landed in hospitals after a shooting at a party near Arcadia Lake outside Oklahoma City.
Police responded to the lakeside gathering where young revelers faced gunfire. Victims suffered various injuries, with no fatalities reported so far. Authorities are seeking suspects and urging witnesses to come forward. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Congress passed a 45-day extension of FISA surveillance powers and sent it to President Trump for signature.
The bill renews key tools for foreign intelligence gathering, with some reforms debated. Lawmakers from both parties backed the short-term measure to avoid lapse. It heads to the White House amid ongoing national security discussions. Kevin Sanders reporting.
U.S. forces destroyed 6 small Iranian boats in the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, amid rising tensions in the vital shipping lane.
Central Command reported the action followed threats to American vessels transiting the strait. 2 U.S. cargo ships successfully crossed after missile destroyers provided escort. Officials denied Iranian claims of hitting an American warship in the area. Chris Anderson reporting.
The Pentagon announced plans to withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany as part of military realignment.
The move highlights shifts in U.S. force posture under President Trump. It affects bases hosting American personnel in Europe.
Officials say it strengthens overall NATO commitments despite the cuts. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking right away about some things that happened back on this date, because that is kind of what we do around here. So taking a look around as we are talking. So here you go. Back in 1979, Masterpiece Radio Theater begins broadcasting. What else? Back in 1997, Married with Children's final episode hits Fox TV. In 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden announces that the U.S. will support temporary lifting patent protection on COVID-19 vaccines with the WHO. Also in 2021, it is the first country to authorize the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 12 and 15-year-olds. That all happened back on the dates that I referenced. If you're looking at some celebrity birthdays for today, let's see, Kurt Loder from MTV fame turns 81 today. Adele turns 38 and Chris Brown turns 37. So there you go. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. John Sterling, the iconic radio voice of the New York Yankees for 36 seasons, has died at his home in Edgewater, New Jersey. He was 87. The Yankees announced his passing yesterday, saying that he died from complications following a heart attack. So there you go. Also, in some other news, before I forget, don't forget that Sunday is Mother's Day. Don't want to get you in trouble, just saying. Sundays is Mother's Day, in case you do not know that here in the U.S. Also, Rudy Giuliani is hospitalized in Florida with pneumonia and remains in critical but stable conditions. According to his spokesperson and business partner, Rudy was admitted to the hospital over the weekend, where doctors determined that he is suffering of pneumonia. His business partner, Tom Von Essen, confirmed that the diagnosis, saying that Giuliani had a tough weekend and is battling the illness. According to multiple reports, Giuliani's condition required mechanical ventilation after the pneumonia rapidly worsens of complications, or by complications, better saying, and restrictive airways disease. The chronic conditions linked to his exposure to dust toxins from Ground Zero after the 9/11 attack. So there you go. And I'll give you one more here before I forget. GameStop just made one of the most unexpected moves in corporate America. It is trying to buy eBay. The video game retailer announced on Sunday that it has submitted an unsolicited, non-binding offer of $125 per share, split between cash and stock. The bid values eBay at about $55.5 billion, roughly 20% above its most recent closing price. The surprise offer comes after GameStop quietly accumulated 5% stake in eBay and secured a $20 billion in debt financing from TD Banks, plus $9.4 billion in cash on hand, according to CNBC. eBay shares jumped after hours trading, but stayed below the offer price, a sign that investors are skeptical that the deal will actually happen. Also, Secretary of State Mark Rubio is scheduled to meet this week with the Pope in Italy, with a planned topic including the Middle East and Cuba. So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. Thank you for hanging out with me on this lovely day. Always a good time when you and I get to hang out. Make sure to pound your kunk as often as you can, because I've been told that those things are super important to do. God willing, I'll be back in the near future and we'll get to do it all over again, just in case. By the way, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come out and hang out for the next couple hours or so with me, as I will be talking about the world of music and entertainment. If you don't want to go over there, you can hang out here with Sheldon Primus on Safety FM, talking about the world of safety consulting. If you go over there on radiobig.fm, we'll be doing, like I said, a couple of things. Here's some words of wisdom for you today. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And if you need some advice for today, want your house to smell amazing fast, put a teaspoon of vanilla extract into a mug, into a microwave for about 30 seconds. It's instant cozy vibes. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.